Some really great exercises for the low back and hips. I want you to start by putting the foot flat across from the one leg, taking your arm, putting it right on top of your knee, and twisting through the other side. You'll be able to then get yourself into a nice pretzel by pulling yourself up over to that one side. Really want you to practice this so you can see this. That foot goes flat, that arm comes in, you pull that knee. You could start there, and then you could add this leg. That leg is really beneficial. The other one, it might feel a little better without your shoes on, and then you could also do a turn. Next one's going to be our open book. I really want you to progress to that straight leg. That hand goes out, but having that bent knee is important. Progress to that straight leg. You'll feel this stretch even more. You're opening up that book. You're coming back to that other hand. You're going to travel over top of that palm, breathing out on the outside. One or the two, the second option, like a bow and arrow drawstring. And our third one is our 90-90 stretch, sitting upright, bending our knees in a 90-degree option. Hands to the back for progressive. You'll have the hands in the middle, but for now you're going to have the hands in the back, a little bit of lift, a little bit of core, and a lot of turning. Turn that front leg first, back leg second, and continue to do those about 15 to 20 repetitions. When you get good, like there, you could put your hand in the middle. Believe me, this one is tough. The hands. All right, you want to get started here on the ground with some cobra stretches. Hands higher up the mat make it a little easier, and hands a little bit lower towards your hips will make this a little bit more difficult. Continue to keep your head in a neutral position instead of looking back. Next is going to be our child pose. I like to open up my legs as wide as I could, pull back into my hands, try to look down through my legs. Next one is going to be our frog pose, where we open up our legs as wide as we could and drive our heels down towards the ground, lowering our elbows to the mat and pushing back through those hip flexors. This gets a little tight. Right into our bird dog movement, making sure our hands are flat on the mat, not too high over the shoulders, but right underneath our shoulders. Maybe about 10 or 20 each side to make it more challenging. I'm not touching the knees or my hands on the mat. And then you're going to switch sides. Go right into your thoracic turns. You could see how the shoulder comes down all the way to the mat. I like to alternate maybe about 10 reps. You could see the stretch right through that lower back and middle back. Right to your side, our clamshells, tight knees. Open up those hips as wide as you could. I like to do this without my shoes, not in this demonstration, but without the shoes, you could really go as wide as you could, hold it, and then to really, really feel it, I could push back. And then which I really love, is to come up into that plank, bring that elbow down, nice flat underneath the armpit, get a little hip raise from the bottom up, and really open it up with those thoracic turns as well. 15, 20 repetitions aside. After about 15 or 20 of the other ones, and you'll really be feeling nice. Breathing on the way out. You can see my face. This one's getting a little hard. And there you go. Let's get into our core. Back is back. Spine is always touching the ground. When we pull in those abs, that spine goes directly to the ground. We're going to start off with a little bit of rolls, Little toe tap rolls, pushing our spine to the ground. If you could give a little bit of a height into those hips, you'll really feel the engagement of the core. You're already warmed up because you stretched out that low back. And you could continue with those exercises, maybe 15 to 20 repetitions. Get a little blood flowing. We're going to go right into our glute bridges. Our knees go together. Our hips come up slowly and controlled. Feeling those glutes, scooping those hips into yourselves, almost like you're trying to see your belly button, pulling your stomach in as tight as possible, smashing those knees together to feel the ultimate core. This is rock hard stuff, 15 to 20 of those repetitions. And then you're going to go right into our Pilates rolls, where we're upright and falling back, holding on to our knees, breathing on the way up. The challenge is here is not to touch your feet on the ground, and you'll really feel that core engagement. You could progress to where you're not holding on to the knees. You're feeling rock hard. Again, 15 to 20 repetitions of everything we're doing here. At the end, if you really want to feel it, you're going to put yourself into a V hold. You could hold that as long as possible. You could do this separated, maybe 15, 20 seconds. You'll really feel it. And then into our Russian twists, where my feet are elevated just a little. My legs aren't shifting. I'm going side to side. My hands stay together, so I'm very dedicated to that move. And now, laying spine flat, single leg drops, one at a time. My hands are on the side. As much as it kills you, do not put those hands underneath those glutes. Keep them to the side, dropping one at a time. 20 repetitions is great for start. I like to finish these, maybe 50 repetitions. I push my hands up to the sky. That helps me keep my spine flat to the ground. Or progress to a single leg toe touch, and you'll really get the full benefits of this exercise. Making sure we're breathing, making sure we're stabilizing the head, and really feeling good. I could feel it. You'll feel those. If you're working with me, you know what this feels like. Okay, another exercise, different exercise, our plank hold. I dedicate these. This is an isometric hold. My elbows are right underneath my armpits. My butt is straight up. It's like a tabletop position. My stomach automatically gets pulled in. You'll feel that. Hold for a minute. You could do it. Get your butts on the side. Drive that elbow straight down into the ground. Push those hips as high as you could. You could also do a little bit of a torso twist to feel that. You're going to do about 1 minute on one side or about 10 repetitions. And then you're going to finish up with some push-ups into rotation, nice and low, into a rotation if you got it, or just simple push-ups are great. If you really want to feel it, you're going to hold this right at the end. Little yoga push-up plank. Hold as long as dedicated. I like to pulse, a little bit of a show off. I'm a trainer. I love pumping you guys up. Just kidding, but keep it going. You guys got this.